All right, you guys, what is going on tonight? We're doing a fun video. We're doing a fun one, and we're taking a walk down memory lane. Ooh, who doesn't like reminiscing about their old cars? So I threw up a post on my Instagram, which by the way, if you guys are not following the Instagram, you need to. I'll put it right down here. But the Instagram announcement went out for the giveaway. I posted it up yesterday, but it's gonna be running until Saturday. So giving you guys a couple days to go jump on there. All the rules for it are in that posting. So, I mean, it's gonna look like that. So jump on that if you haven't already. But we're taking a walk down memory lane today. So I've owned 15 Subarus and 20 cars total. And I always mention my older cars in these videos. So I actually wanted to show you guys. I don't have obviously videos of them because I haven't had them for years. But I do have photos, so I was gonna put some photos up on the screen and whatnot to show you guys what I'm always referencing. Plus it's kind of fun to take a look at all the previous ones before the current Subaru. Good old Subaru, making a life. Making a living for itself. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna go down memory lane and we're gonna start going through all 15 Subarus that I've had and why I keep buying these cars. Beats me. So like I said, you guys, tonight's video is going to be a fun one. So talking about some of my old cars, like I said, I've had 15 different Subarus. I've had 6 STIs, 3 WRXs, 2 BRZs. I'm counting FRSs because it's essentially a Subaru. I've had 2 FRSs, so that's 4 of those total. I've had 1 Forester, and I've had a 1988 XT, which I'm not gonna lie, was probably one of my favorites. But we're gonna take a look at all of my old cars, and let's talk about them a little bit and see how they all led me to this current 17 STI behind me. So we're gonna start at the beginning of my very first Subaru. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Do not judge this car. I was in high school when I had this. This was my first car, and this is what really grabbed me into the Subaru world. But here you go. So this was my 1988 Subaru Xt. Now, if you don't know a lot about these cars, they're very weird. They're very, very weird. The inside of it looked like a spaceship. Google a picture of the inside of an XT. I don't want to get copyright claimed for taking other people's images. So just Google a picture of it. These are weird cars, and the pop-up headlights are just, I loved them. So sadly, when I joined the Army in 2011, my mom did sell the car after I had left, which, I mean, I don't blame her. She didn't want this thing sitting around in the driveway any longer than she had to. But that was really the car that grabbed me into the Subaru world, and it was also the first car I learned how to drive a manual on. And it was a downward spiral of Subarus after that. So I've also had some other cars mixed in between all the Subarus that I guess I'll toss in here too. So I mean, after I kind of got stationed when I was in the Army, I ended up buying a 2004 350Z just because, I mean, I was E3 in the Army, which, if you know, that's private first class, but you don't make much. So I was balling on a budget at the time, but I had the 350Z for a while. And then when I ended up getting stationed down in Fort Polk, Louisiana, a couple years later, I got my first STI, which I was stoked for. I was really stoked for this one. So this was my first STI. So this was my 2008 STI. This thing was a very fun car. It was also a very big learning experience coming from any other cars that I've had. I bought it completely stock. There wasn't anything done to it. And at the time, Cobb didn't have their V3 access ports, so this thing was being run off of a V2 access port. This car, it was such a learning experience on this car because I'm going into just a car where I have no idea. It's my first turbocharged car, and I've made a lot of mistakes with this car that I have learned throughout the next 5 STIs and WRXs that I had. So I mean, it was a big learning curve, but it was really the benchmark which grabbed me into the STI and WRX world. The XT just kind of introduced me to it. After I got out of the Army, I was getting ready to drive back up to Washington State from Louisiana, and I didn't know at the time that the car would be fine driving back up. So I ended up selling my 08 STI, and I ended up buying an 07. Now, I have this love for Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes are my favorite body style. Specifically, 07s are my favorite because you get the top feed injection over the side feed, and as well as a couple other things. But this is my 07 STI, as you can see right here. So I put a lot of money into this thing. I was sponsored by HPT Motorsports at the time for autocross racing, which is why you see the giant banner going across the roof. It was on coilovers. It made around 345 wheel horsepower and I think about 370 wheel torque. The car was a monster on the street. It was fun to play with. It wasn't crazy. I'm not gonna say it was a monster. It was a good street car. The STI was a good street car, and I really regret selling this car. Now I did end up spinning a bearing on this one, and sadly I did sell it, and I regret selling this car ever since. I have tried to fill that hole and that void in me with some of the other Subarus that you'll see coming along, but I ended up selling the STI when it spun a bearing. Now you FA owners out there, I have had two FA WRXs. So the one that you see right here, this was the first FA WRX I had. This was my 2016 WRX. I ended up buying it brand new and voiding the warranty immediately. I really tried with this car. I only had it for 4 months and I couldn't do it. It wasn't the engine. I mean, the rev hang was really annoying, but the thing that really got me was the transmission, and I wasn't a fan with it. So I ended up selling my 16 WRX after 4 months I ended up selling it for a 2016 BRZ Limited. So as you can see on the screen, it's a really, really stock BRZ. I didn't do too much to this car. I had this weird sense of panic for some reason, and I ended up selling the BRZ after another like 3 months. So you'll notice I jump around from car to car a lot in this. So after I sold the BRZ, I really missed having an STI. So I sold the BRZ for another STI, which as you can see on the screen was a 2011 STI. So I don't know what I was thinking here. I had this weird thing where I also missed my old 08 STI. The hatchback was, I honestly really love the hatchback. They're versatile, they're fun to play with, they're fun to drive. You can do a lot of stuff with them. So I had the 11 STI for a little while and then it started to die. So whoever had the car before me did not do proper maintenance on it. They did not take care of the car very well. And that one also spun a bearing. Yay, yay. This is why I harp on longevity and reliability mods a lot, you guys. I've been through all the schmoo and all the bad stuff with these cars. My 07 STI had the cracked oil pickup and it starved the engine of oil. The 11 STI just wasn't happy and started knocking. So I took a loss on the 11 STI, but you know, you win some, you lose some. But so I went ahead and I snagged myself another 2007 STI, and I thought this was a unicorn. I thought this one was gonna be the keeper. I thought it was gonna fill the void in my heart. So I found this 2007 STI, and it had 30,000 miles on it. And I was like, I'm buying it, I'm going to get it. I drove down to Oregon to go buy it from this dealer. I bought the car, brought it back up, and then I started going through doing my routine maintenance stuff, getting everything updated, and I quickly found a lot of Bondo on the car. So when you buy a car in Oregon, Oregon has different title standards than Washington does. So what was a clear title in Oregon was a salvage title in Washington. And it wasn't just salvaged one time, let me tell you that. It was salvaged 3 times. I ended up returning the car back to the dealer, and that was a big hassle. It was a really big hassle. They ended up taking the car back. I took the train back up to Washington from Oregon, and then I was carless for like 2 or 3 days, which I once again tried. I really tried, you guys. I got another FA WRX. So as you can see on the screen, it is a fairly stock 2016 WRX in silver ice metallic or something like that. I don't really know what the exact color code is on this one. But as you can see, it's stock. All I pretty much did to it was an access port, put a stage 1 tune on it to get rid of the rev hang. Did a couple aesthetic mods and a couple suspension mods, and I couldn't get on board with the transmission. I mean, after having so many STIs prior to that WRX, I was like, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I got rid of the WRX again, and I only had that one for maybe 3-4 months yet again. And guess what I bought? I bought an FRS, which is pretty much the same as a BRZ, which I don't even have a picture of the FRS. I didn't even have it that long. I had this FRS for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks or something like that. And I was like, nope, don't want this one also. So as you can see, I had a pattern. I had a very strong pattern of not being able to keep a car for very long, which that is 100% on me. So after I got rid of that FRS, guess what I bought? Another STI. So I had a 2006 STI for a little bit. It was a very fun car. I had it. I did some good stuff to it. It came with a lot of issues though. The last owner didn't take care of it very well. It was on a stock tune, had an HKS blow-off valve. some really old BC coilovers, and it was a rough ride. It didn't handle very well and didn't drive very good. It looked awesome though. Love the way that car looked, but it wasn't up to par. So I had an idea. I was like, all right, I'm gonna fix up the STI, but I'm gonna need another car to drive. So I made a weird decision here, and I ended up buying a 1993 Skyline GTST, and that was a fun car. Dailied that for a while, but we're not talking about all my other cars. I did just want to sprinkle them in as we're going through this so you can kind of see the progression in the timeline here. But the Skyline was a fun car, had the Skyline and the STI together. It was an awesome combo. Then quickly realized that gas mileage was a problem in both cars. So ended up selling the STI and keeping the Skyline. And I ended up buying a 2018 Yaris, which this is the first time in years that I was Subaru-less, but I wasn't Subaru-less for quite long. So ended up selling the Skyline so I could buy my house, and had the Yaris. Had the Yaris for 3 days before I was like, I can't drive a normal car every day. I cannot do it. So I quickly traded in the Yaris, and I bought another FRS. Quickly realized the FRS, it wasn't the singular car that I wanted. So I did a lot to the FRS though. I really tried with the FRS to make it a singular car that I wanted, but I needed something, I really wanted something with more power without dumping a whole bunch of money into it at the time, since I did just buy the house. I didn't have a lot of money to throw at a car, so I ended up trading in the FRS, and that's how we got Senor Blueberoo behind us. And I've had Senor Blueberoo for almost 2 years now, so congrats, you've made it past my inability to keep a car, Blueberoo. But we have gotten more cars since we had the Blueberoo. This is gonna be the first time I actually sold the Blueberoo. This exact car, I sold this car for a week. 1 week. I had a weird time in my life where I sold this, and I had bought a 2014 Maserati GTS. That was a fun car, I can tell you that right now, but it was not in the least bit practical for absolutely anything. Gas mileage, maintenance, and nope. Luckily the dealer messed something up on the paperwork on their end, and I had an opportunity to grab the Blueberoo back. So grabbed it back, and I've had it ever since, and we have made it a money pit. But while having the Blueberoo, I have snagged 2 more Subarus since then. So before I started the channel, I did have a 2006 Forester. It was base, just had it as a daily to drive to work and back, especially when we had the snowpocalypse. So that leads us to today, where now we have the Blueberoo, and we also have the BRZ outside, which I finally got the plates for the BRZ after like a month and a half. I don't understand how it takes that long, but I have had a lot of Subarus, and I love these cars. There is a reason I keep buying them, and they just meet every need that I have, which we're gonna talk about in an upcoming video, which I'm strictly gonna talk about why Subaru is such a great brand and why I keep buying them. But they meet every need that I want out of a car, and they build an awesome community. They bring all you guys together so that way we can talk about all these awesome topics and give you guys a little more clarity. But that's all I have for you guys on this one. I thought this would be a fun video to do to give you guys a little more clarity of the cars that I've had in the past, all of the Subarus I've had, and I've made mistakes on every single one of those cars. Don't get me wrong, I've blown some up, I've demolished some, and did I mention my 02 WRX? I had an 02 WRX in there also. I don't remember if I mentioned that one, so if I didn't, here's a picture of it. My bug eye was awesome. I loved my bug eye. That thing was by far one of my favorite Subarus, so if I didn't mention it, also had that bug eye. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I did want to give you guys a little backstory to all of the Subarus I've had prior to this one. Plus, you guys voted on it. So if you guys aren't following the Instagram, I do post a lot of just choices for you guys on videos. Do you guys want this video, that video? And I let you guys decide. So you guys picked this one. I think majority vote was 70-30 on this topic versus another one. So if you're not following it, go check it out. Go and check it out. Also, make sure to check out that Instagram posting for the giveaway. Don't want anyone to miss out on that. So we are going to do the drawing on Saturday. I'm going to go live on my Instagram to select the winner. So just make sure you guys jump on that one. But with that, if you guys like the video, go ahead, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you are not already subscribed and you want to be, I'm going to randomly pick a corner tonight because I really don't know which one I want to pick right now. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies. Woo!